Welcome to the newest episode of Saved by the Books, where two ladies with opposite reading tastes discuss all things reading.
Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to another episode of Saved by the Books. Paige and Becky are back with another episode. Woo-hoo. 2 in a row.
So excited, 2020.
So, yeah.
Here we come.
2 in a row for 2020. And now we'll be back in 2021. No, I'm just kidding.
I think your mom would kill us.
Why?
Well, no, because she even said, like, how she misses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so she wouldn't allow us to go that long.
Yeah, no worries, Mom.
Yeah.
We're back. But yeah, so we talked about 2019 last week, and we also changed our upload day.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't mention it in that episode, but I think going forward we're gonna do Wednesdays because I do all of the editing, and Mondays are always really hectic for me. So yeah, we're gonna do our new episodes on Wednesdays going forward. And yeah, this week we're gonna talk about our 2020 goals. We kind of started to talk about it like 5 or 6 times in the last episode, and we were like, no, wait.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess first off, we're both gonna set a Goodreads goal.
Yes, and so I set mine for 100.
Same.
And that's because I hit 102 books last year, so it's the most ever, and that's with some big reading slumps in that whole process in life, which we talked about last time. So I feel like I can really focus on it this year.
I do feel like I almost set it at 75 because I do feel like I have some other stuff that I'm going to try to like prioritize in 2020. But then I was just like, you know what, 100 we'll reevaluate in June.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, because I hit 52, I think in late June or July. So I feel like I can easily knock that out because summer is my big reading time. So,
and I'll be reading comics, and they are quick reads. So
I will be reading everything that I already own.
That I was about to say that's my like number one goal.
Yes.
Like number one, like I don't even care about the Goodreads goal that much. I need to read books I already own. I have a system where every book that I have has a piece of washi on the side, and I use a different washi tape for the year, like for each year that I accumulated the books. And so the oldest books on my shelf have this like blue and white washi tape on it. And so those are like my main priority. Those are the ones that I think at the end of the year I might unhaul if I haven't finished them.
Oh, you've verbally said it now.
Which is scary. Well, and I counted them. There's 98 of them.
Right. Well, do what I said and give you like 10 freebies.
Yeah.
Or so. Like set that goal.
Yeah. I think I might do that. I mean, and to be fair, a lot of them are like contemporaries or thrillers or like historical fiction. There's a lot of historical fiction.
Right.
And I think because we read like all the Philippa Gregory books in 2018 now, but I think that's like why I wasn't reading any of them in 2019 because I was just like, I don't want to read it. Like, and there's stuff I'm interested in. Like, it's stuff that's like about like Queen Isabella of Spain and like
other time periods.
Yeah, and like other time periods. I don't remember. Like the Vatican Princess is one of them that we just got.
Yeah,
that one won't be unhauled. Yeah, we just got it. But yeah, I think I need to do that. So we both did a spreadsheet that from Allie over at Hardback Quarter. And
it's on her Twitter if you're interested in it.
Yeah, and so one of the sheets on the spreadsheets thing was like all your owned books, and I went through and highlighted a bunch of them of like ones I think I want to read and then immediately unhaul. I mean, and obviously like if I read it and it becomes a new favorite, I'll keep it, but it's all the ones that I'm kind of like, eh. Yeah. Like I kind of am like, you spent money on it, so you keep it for now, but like once you're done with it, you're done with it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I realized, I knew kind of how many books I had because I've always had like a running Word document that I usually update once a year, which is so bad, but I started over and typed them all up. So like I said last time, I have about right at 1,000 books, and I know there may be a few missing, but I'm 10 books away from hitting 50% read. So my goal, like my little goal is January, read 10 books so I can hit 50%, and then try and keep that momentum going, like reading between like 7 and 10 books a month, so that I can hit above 100.
Yeah.
And most of them off of my shelf. Like my plan is to only buy books for group reads or for the podcast.
Yeah, I'm kind of not nervous, but I'm kind of like apprehensive about it because a lot of times I'm reading on my Kindle at night, and so I don't want the lights to be on because Cody's trying to sleep, and so that's why I'm kind of like I don't know if I'm gonna do it because,
well, the library, some of those really backlisted titles may actually be in our library.
Maybe.
And that's one thing I've been a lot better at. Was at the very end of last year, I started using the library more for audiobooks and for some ebooks, and that's really helped in that sense, so I can save Audible credits.
I feel like everything I look at for the library, especially lately, everything I look up, it's like, no, we don't have it. I'm just like, seriously?
Yeah.
But yeah, I might, like, depending on it, because I know there's a library, like the New York Public Library is one, and I know there's other libraries out there where, like, you can pay if you don't live there to, like, have just, like, an electronic access to their, like, electronic library. I might do that. I don't know. I feel like the New York Library was like $50 the last time I looked, if you don't live there, I think. So it's not bad.
Horrible.
No, it's not bad.
Access to a ton of books.
Yeah. And then I do have Scribd, whatever.
I don't know.
So yeah, hopefully I can like use that too.
See, I need to go to my new library because they will have different books, and they may have the rule, because I'm now living in a rural area, which is weird, but more access to more books because of that, like through different grants and stuff.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, so I think that's both our main goal, is to read books that we already own.
Yes.
So like expect pretty much all of the buddy reads for this podcast to be books that we already own.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to read
except
them.
for the one coming up in March.
That's because I have to read it again.
She got the ARC for it, so you'll have to stay tuned. Yes, we've actually planned out the reads for 3 months, so we're trying to stay on top of it.
If you know me, if you follow me at Between These Pages on Instagram, you already know what the book is. It comes out right before my birthday on February 25th.
So we're celebrating.
It's the best birthday present to me. So
it actually comes out on my mom's birthday.
Yeah. So we have a good book coming out for our birthday. So yeah, that's like the main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like pretty much any challenges that I do, I'm gonna be pulling from books I already own, and I don't know, maybe I'll get a book light, like one of those old school ones that you just like attach to your book, you know?
Yeah.
And, like read those.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I really, like, I don't know. Ideally, one day I want my bookshelf to only be my favorite books. Like, I want somebody to be able to walk into my house and see my bookshelf and like know, like, I don't know, I feel like you can kind of know who somebody is as a person, like if you see their bookshelf. So, and even like anybody that comes over to my house, like we end up in the library, like not just you, anybody that walks in this house, we end up in that room. So yeah. The other thing that I know we're both doing is the Creating a Co Book Club Challenge. We do,
Isn't it 30 books this year?
It's 30 books or 30 prompts.
Yeah.
And yeah, so if you don't know, I have a planner shop called Creating & Co. We also have the Creating & Co Book Club, which isn't technically affiliated with this podcast, but it also kind of is, because I feel like most of you guys, if you listen to the podcast, you probably are in the book club
and
too.
We reference it
all
lot.
the time.
So if you ever hear us talk about a book club, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's just because all of it has been so ingrained with both of our lives. I feel like that's our primary inspiration for what we want to read in the future and stuff. Like, it's not just I mean, I think that when we interact in a whole lot.
Yeah, for sure. And so, yeah, we have a book club challenge. It's 30 prompts this year. which is good. Last year we started out with a 24 prompt one, and so many people finished it so early that like I released a new one. And I
didn't even start the new one. I'm sure I've read 100 books. I can make them fit, but that's how big of a reading slump it eventually became.
I had it in my planner for 6 months and I didn't look at it. So the like book club one for 2020, I think what I'm gonna do is only for non-readathon books, and then books I already own.
Yeah,
is gonna be the main thing. And I don't know, I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna release another one for like the second half of the year. I might, but I feel like it's too far away to think about.
People can just double it up, is what I think. They can just read 2 books for each.
You know,
that's what I would I don't know. We'll get into what
we'll figure that out later in the year. But yeah, and then also with the Creating & Co book club, we do a readathon every other month. And so it's February, April, June, August, October, and December. So I'll be doing those for sure. And then I also know that there's the Booktubeathon twice a year.
Oh, I always forget about all the other readathons. See, that's the thing. There's so many.
And there's the Scallywagathon if Allie does it this year,
which I love. And then the Owls and Newts, which I've done for the last 2 years. That's hosted by Book Roast.
Which I haven't done, which I might do it this year.
But I think I've decided probably, I mean, still so early, but the only readathons I'm actually going to focus on are the Creating & Co ones, because I end up feeling so overwhelmed, and usually by the time I do one of those, I don't want to read anything afterwards.
Yeah.
So it makes it like, I don't want to force a reading slump.
Yeah.
And there's so many good ones, like Chelsea Darling Reads always puts some good ones out. Books and Lala, there's always good ones. Allie's or from Hardback Hoarder are so good. So it's hard to I feel like balance. So that's the thing, I want to balance like my time, and I want to truly enjoy reading like I once did.
Sometimes with the Creating Co readathons this happens too, like it just lands on a bad week, and we plan it so far in advance that like it's impossible to know like what a bad week is gonna be. But like I feel like almost all of the other readathons out there land on a bad week for me, and so because it's not something like with the Creating Co book club, since I'm the organizer, like I have to do it, you know. But like with other ones, I'm just like,
and that's why I feel like I have to do them. It's because I do help out with those.
Yeah.
So I feel the pressure of that, even though I may not actually have time. Or like I remember the last one for December, I had so many like work Christmas parties, regular Christmas parties, like so many things going on, like, and I was supposed to be running sprints, and I had it all planned out. And then I realized, well, I stayed extra late, and where I was had no service because it was out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to go in and like I need to focus on this instead of, you know, it's just that stuff that goes on. And it didn't help. We had one less week between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
No, but we didn't. I looked it up and we didn't.
We did.
Next year or this year, I guess it's even worse.
Well, and then this coming year's a leap year.
Yeah, but I don't really care about that stupid leap day. Actually, like okay, so my birthday is February 27th, so like the end of February, and I always felt for those people that are born on the 29th because it's not fair. And I realized like they just celebrate on like March 1st or whatever, but like still it's not fair.
It's crazy.
So yeah, I really don't like the leap day because of that reason. But yeah, I feel like a lot of my bookish goals lean more toward like the social media side. Like I really want to be posting on my bookish Instagram more.
Same.
Because I was doing pretty well for a while. Writing book reviews, you guys, is hard.
I want to be nice.
Like you don't think about it until you're doing it, and it's difficult.
Well, and just like I feel that's been some of my hang up with YouTube is the book review side of it. Because I know it's my opinions, but that can make a lot of people upset, or, you know, and I truly don't want to hurt an author's feelings, because it's like it's their heart in a, you know, it's amazing what they've done. And everyone has so many different tastes.
Oh my god, I felt so bad because there was a book that I reviewed on Goodreads, and the author replied. And I was like, I went back and read it, and I was like, well, I mean, like, everything I said was constructive, and like, like, it wasn't like I was just trashing a book or anything. Like, it was all like points that like I had reasons for, and like how to do it differently. But still, I felt so bad. And then I was like, I don't want to review anything anymore.
I know. Let me just leave stars.
Yeah, but then at the same time,
it's not helpful.
Yeah, and like, I don't know.
Most of my reading goals, or like my plans, deal with reading what I already own. So
yeah, that's pretty much my main thing.
So that's why my Goodreads goal is so high. But I'm going to attempt the Pop Sugar reading challenge, but that's kind of secondhand. And but my big thing I'm doing is the A to Z.
I was about
challenge.
to say, you haven't even talked about that one.
I know. So, and I actually posted about that, and I've started it. So what I've planned on doing each month, I figured it out. I will focus on 2 letters a month until we get to the end of the year, when it'll be 3 for November and December. And I will strictly pull off of my TBR. So this month, I've actually picked out 3 books that start with the letter A and 3 that start with B. So I'm reading Anne of Green Gables. I've never read it, never owned the book up until the last library sale. So I'm finally reading those books we hauled for the last 2 years that I haven't touched. And I'm actually really enjoying it. And then I'm reading Beautiful Bastards, and there's no plot, but that's fine. And I'll be done with it probably later tonight. So I hit my A and B. So I want to read as many with those letters that month. So I can work that into the different challenges when it comes to readathons and stuff like that. And then I will read, every podcast book and that. So I'm trying to leave it open, but my goal is to read 3 books from each letter.
Ideally, I would want to do better discussions for the group reads, for the Creating Co-Book Club, because like we did a live show maybe twice, and they went well. They were fine. Like, it's better like if you're here with me, because then I can talk to you versus like waiting for comments to show up. So I don't know, we might figure out a way to do that. Well, but then
I think the reason why sometimes is we're so exhausted by the end of that readathon. Like, we're over it when Sunday night comes.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we're like
legitimately like on Sunday of the readathon, because we always do them from like a Monday to a Sunday. Like by Sunday, I'm like, dude,
done.
Like,
well, because like focusing on reading sprints and making sure you have posts and the different challenges, and that on top of your regular work week is just a lot. So, because usually during the readathons, I'm working or I'm on vacation somewhere, and so it's really hard
because we always kind of plan them around her school schedule.
If you ever wondered,
and then she goes out of town, and I'm like, then why did we plan it this week?
Well, because if I'm on a beach, all I'm gonna do is read. Like, I could read 10 books in 1 week. But
I would really like to have better discussions involving the books that we have. I don't know. Like, we've kind of talked about this off camera, like starting a journal or
that's
something
what I was just about
of that nature to like kind of do that. I think what I might do, and I mentioned this in the Creating a Co group last night, I think I might make a half-letter disc-bound journal, which I know, like, if you don't plan, then you're probably like, what?
Yeah.
But basically, I'm gonna take some pieces of paper from the printer and cut them in half, and then hole punch them and put them together and make my own journal.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I might do. I kind of did something like that in high school. I had like a spiral notebook, and I remember it was a 5-star notebook, you guys, and it was like a half-letter size.
I love
and
those.
It had 5 subjects, so it was super thick. And I took that book with me everywhere. I wrote in that book. I wrote like journaling things. Like, I wrote like poems and stuff. I drew pictures. I did like collages and vision boards. Like, I did everything in that book. And one of my friends like saw it once, and she was like, I have an everything book too. And so like,
that's a good name for it.
Yeah, it was like a thing. And I had never called it that. So I mean, like, I didn't come up with that. But like, it's almost like a bullet journal, but like
before,
it was before bullet journal, and it was like primarily creative. It wasn't like a planning tool. And I think I want one again.
See, a lot of my students, like thinking about it, some of my like more creative artsy type students, they'll have one and they'll be writing in it or drawing in it and stuff. And so I think it's just one of those creative outlets people have.
Yeah, like I honestly kind of miss school because like, no, because like, listen. Because
I don't. I'm shaking my head no.
It was so, I like, it wasn't even because of school, but it was just because like when I was at school or like when I was in college, I would like get to my first class or whatever of the day and like I would get like my planner
like
in order and like, you know, like I would get all that stuff done and like I would write in my book and like my notebook and all that stuff. And now with like working for myself, which is great, like don't get me wrong, but like as soon as I'm awake and like I'm awake, it's like go time. And it's like I don't take that time to like ease into the day.
Yeah.
Which is probably my next goal, but that's not book like reading related. But yeah, definitely like leading back to like get back to reading, like making better discussions, having better notes. I feel like I'm really good about with our buddy reads to like I take notes in my phone as we go.
And see, that's what.
But then whenever we go to talk about it, I'm like, I don't know what I meant by this.
Well, I think we both did really well. What am I saying? Really well. Sorry, y'all. Really well when we read the rest of the story by Sarah Dessen. Like we both were on top of it, and I'm thinking like, why am I still not like annotating these buddy reads? Because I mean, Serpent and Dove, like
no, even like well,
I mean,
well, you didn't take notes for Serpent and Dove.
No,
I
wish.
took notes, you guys,
and we were trying to figure them out.
Yeah, like one of them is like Bo having hidden depths. What did I mean by that? Like what hidden depths? Like
the three-eyed crow equals the three-eyed raven.
Oh, I think I know what that was about. So because I mentioned the Harry Potter one, I was like trying to pick out where she pulled inspiration from certain
which
things.
Makes sense.
And I was like, really? You're gonna have a three-eyed crow, but there's a three-eyed raven in Game of Thrones. But like, I don't care. I mean, everybody pulls inspiration from like everywhere. But I don't know. I think I was just being salty.
Oh, one of my other, I just realized this, because it's kind of, I need to write my goals down. So when we recap, because we're gonna be good.
Oh my god, I know, that was the other thing for our 2019, like when we were talking about it, like I would have loved to have a list of the things I thought of.
Well, now we have a podcast,
January.
So there we go.
Well, you know what? I think we're just gonna have to get off of this in a minute and make some half-letter journals.
Right? No, but one of my goals is actually to finish series this year. So any series I started, I want to finish. So like the selection series, I mentioned this earlier when we were talking, before we got together, and I haven't finished the last 2 books. So I'm like, I need to finish those.
But I know
there's a separate, like.
Oh, okay, you only read the selection. Like
I read the first 3.
Okay. Oh,
then there's like a 4th one, and then there's another book.
So. Oh, don't bother those. Oh, I mean, bother with those because you own them. But
right. So I want to actually just like, okay, Ace of Shades was one of my #1 books last year. I still have not read King of Fools. I'm so sorry, Amanda. Like, I love this book, and that's something that you. And see, her 3rd book comes out this year.
Well, see, and so I was thinking kind of the opposite in that I don't want to start any series.
Correct. That's the same.
Until they're all out.
Oh, I don't know if I can do that.
I am such, like, if I find a series that I'm into, like, I will binge read them and I enjoy it so much more. Whereas if I, like, read one and then I have to wait until the second one comes out, like, I won't enjoy the second one as much.
See, and I'm the weird one that prolongs finishing a book for a month. Or
well, I mean, I did that for the Guinevere Deception.
Okay, even for
and I think that might be the February book club pick. Like,
yes,
I think it was leading in the poll the last time I looked. Which by the time you guys are seeing this, like, we've probably already picked the book. So go to the Creating Co book club to see what book we picked.
Right.
But yeah, I think the Guinevere Deception might win, and so I might be reading it again. But I don't know. I want to reread it again, which is my other main goal.
Is to reread more.
Yeah, I didn't talk about this yet. Okay, so I really wanted to have, like, the whole reason I was recording my favorites all year long is because I wanted to reread them at the end of the year and then choose my favorites based on my rereads.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it because there was just no way.
Yeah.
Like it was 10 books, and like in my good reading months, like 10 books is doable, but like there was just no way. The whole end of, like, the whole last 2 months of the year was just insane, and it was like a blur. But I really want to reread more because I have all these favorites. Like, I went through our spreadsheet and I I highlighted like all of my favorites, and I have so many, and I don't ever like get to reread them.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's so many other new books that are coming out, and like I want to read all of the books. So I want to reread. I don't really have like a set goal for how many I want to reread because I feel like that might take the fun out of it. But I have a layout in my like bullet journal section of like, so I can like document like how many rereads I do.
And one thing I've been tempted with, because I don't have enough reading goals this year, and I was only tempted with it yesterday because I didn't even think about it, is to read, and I wanted to read it last summer, but is to read Les Miserables. Like, there's a group of people on Instagram reading 1 chapter a day, and then the other one was War and Peace, and because there's 365 chapters, so read 1 chapter a day. Now, I don't own War and Peace, so I can't read that because I'm not buying books, trying to be good, but I do own 2 copies of Les
Listen,
Miserables.
I am just so excited that my birthday is in February, and on my birthday I can buy some books. like I've been on this, like, it's not even a book buying ban.
No,
really,
and I haven't been
there's nothing I like need right now,
No.
you know? But like, and I have been doing better in like the last half of the year of 2019 of like only buying books like when I am ready to read them. But like, Book Outlet's Black Friday sale got me. It got me. So
see, I was pretty good. I think I only got $6.
Well, I would have been fine if I hadn't had the thought of, let's look and see what comics they sell.
Well, comics are quick.
They are quick reads. And with a comic, like,
but then the different volumes, you may get sucked into.
Yeah, well, and then there, you know, like it's a series, so it's like,
right.
Yeah, you have to have them all. And I admittedly, I haven't gone to look at the library that's closer to where now just I live here.
Sorry.
But anyway, I haven't gone to look at our library. I'm still just gonna call it that. But when I looked by my old apartment that we lived in, that library had like no graphic novels. It was like 2 or 3. So I was like, well, I guess anytime I want to read a graphic novel, I'm just gonna have to buy it, because I don't want to read those on like a Kindle Paperwhite or anything. So
that would be awful.
Also,
we'll see.
Go ahead. Or do you have another goal?
I don't know. Because I have so many, but that's why I'm kind of hesitant, because I have so many lofty goals. I'm hesitant about the Pop Sugar, so it may be something I keep on the back burner, because I do want to do the Creating Co. I want to be really good with the A to Z.
I am so in love and excited about the way that the Creating & Co challenges look.
Yeah.
So like, I am just stupid proud of them.
I was going to say, so go check out her website with them, because they really are cute. But no, if you guys have any recommendations for books titles that start with X or Z, let me know. The ones
Other
I
than
have.
X by Sue Grafton?
Right, but I don't own that, and so I could, because
you read
I had
of it.
I read half of them, yeah. So I could theoretically, but that means finishing that series this year, and that's a lot of books. But and see, I've read The Zookeeper's Wife already, so I don't want to.
The Time Traveler's Wife, The Zookeeper's Wife.
Yeah,
there's so many wives.
So if you know of any books, because those are the only 2 letters I don't have multiple. I don't have any books for.
I started a new blog, and so that goes into one of my goals that I want to do. So I started a blog at betweenthesepages.com. It is primarily a bookish blog, but I think it'll probably end up having some like life type things, especially because we've kind of a little bit talked about going on like a trip this year or whatever, and so like if we go on a trip, I'll probably do a post about a trip or something. I thought about doing a post for our Universal trip, but then I never got around to it. So yeah, but one of my goals is to post on the blog at least once a week. And I want it to be, like, I want there to be book reviews. Like, I want, ideally, if I post something on Instagram, like, you'll get a snippet on Instagram, and then like the rest of it will be in a blog post. But I haven't gotten there yet, but that's another goal. So I might also post because my YouTube channel, like I'm also going to be, I plan to post my videos on the blog and maybe just like with like a little bit of like behind the scenes info or something. And so like since my channel has like planner type things sometimes, so like the planner stuff will probably go on the Creating and Co blog, and the book stuff will go on the Between the Pages vlog or blog. So I just, you know, overcomplicate things and make more work for myself because that's what I do.
Isn't that what we all do?
Yeah, I was thinking about, or I saw something and then I was just thinking about it, like about how not everything has to become like a side hustle. Like you can like something for the sake of liking it, and just having fun with it. And I feel like that I want to get that attitude toward writing. Which is another goal, is developing a writing routine, and like just a habit of like writing, because I tend to, like I do pretty well during Nano, but then I'm so burnt out at the end of Nano that then I just don't write, and then like the idea of going back to writing is so daunting that it, like I just keep not doing it.
Kind of like the feeling after a readathon, like we just get in that funk that we don't want to.
Yeah, and so and it's because like I tend to put so much pressure on myself with writing. Like if it, like I write something and if it doesn't come out perfectly, like I'm just like so mad at myself for it, and like I just want to like have a different attitude toward writing, but I don't know how to get there. So if you have tips, let me know, because I need to know. And obviously part of my goal is to post on the podcast more often.
We're gonna do better.
We are.
Hey, we already have 2 videos for 2020.
Hey,
let's see if we can get to 20 videos. We should.
We should. I mean, I don't know. We've talked about like getting together. Well, we get together like more than twice a month, but like getting together like to do our podcasts like twice a month, and filming and being ahead and all that stuff.
And that's it. We just have to be more purposeful about it.
For sure. I'm trying to think of anything else that's bookish that I want to do this year. We're not going to BookCon.
No.
And I'm sad about it, but also not sad about it, because
I loved it. But
it was like, it was so cool, but I feel like
it's a lot.
It was it was an expensive trip. And then I don't know, I still kind of regret that we didn't really get to go to any panels and stuff. I don't know. I would really love to go to Y'all Fest, because I don't know, it's technically not really closer, because like we still have to fly there, because it's a 10-hour drive and we're not driving 10 hours. But yeah, like it's just as easy for us to get to New York as it is to get there. But I would like to go there just to like have a different event to compare it to. I don't know.
I think and you would probably agree, to go to more book signings. It's hard in our area, but I know that there's a lot in Nashville.
Yeah, that would be so much fun.
And so if we actually, you know, plan it out and be purposeful about it.
And actually go.
Yes, because we talked about it.
There was definitely 2 in 2019 that we could have technically gone, but we were both just kind of like, well, we just won't go. Because, like, honestly, like, there are very few people in this world that, like, I would, and this is gonna sound so bitchy, but, like, I don't really fangirl over people.
No.
You know, like, I don't know. I'm just kind of like...
Well, like, one of the ones was Leigh Bardugo.
And like, I respect her so much as an author and as a person, and I think her books are great and all of that, but, like, I don't know. I just always, like, with meeting people, I don't know. I'm just,
and it was, like, a Monday night. It was a big thing, and it would be... I would have had to, like, take off of work type of deal to get there, because Nashville traffic's awful. But... it was one of those, we really talked about it and we're really considering it. But then it was like, you know, you weigh, do I really want to go and do this and spend 3.5 hours in the car there and 3.5 back? And like, is it truly worth it type of deal?
This isn't bookish, but my mom and I are going to see Motley Crue this year. And her boyfriend's also going. Cody's not going because he doesn't care about Motley Crue, because he just doesn't know good music. But I am so excited. That is like one group that I'm like so excited to see.
Well, for randomness, if we're going events we're going to this year, my brother and dad, we are planning to go to the Ohio State Michigan game. So we're big Ohio State fans. Go Buckeyes.
And I'm just over here like,
I know. Yeah, she's
care.
like, No, that's Black Friday weekend.
Oh, is it?
It's always that Saturday.
Yeah, I'll be busy.
Right. So we talked about it, and this year it kind of finally decided we're gonna go. So fingers
That'll
crossed
be
we get
cool.
tickets. But we're gonna spend the weekend in Columbus and have a good time because we've been like long time
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Ohio State fans. So that's kind of the big thing, because we already had so many big things this last year that I'm like, I gotta save and do
Yeah.
little things. And I think
I know.
really enjoying the city I think would be good.
Yeah.
Um
I know Cody and I aren't really planning on any trips
Yeah.
this year. I'm going to Florida at one point by myself, which is going to be fun and interesting.
that's coming up, isn't it?
No, it's in like September.
Oh, I thought it was
it's a
in
long
the
spring.
spring.
I don't even
Okay,
know
never
when
mind.
it is. I don't even know when it is. It's a while from here, but it is
A
like
planner.
it's a planner event, and I think it'll be really cool. We talked about going to New Orleans,
Yes.
which I feel like is like bookish adjacent because there are so many books that take place in New Orleans.
Oh my gosh.
Or
There's
like,
so many books that take place anywhere.
or are inspired by New Orleans.
again.
Okay, but like, oh, I love New Orleans. Like just walking around the
Oh, I
French
know.
Quarter
I know,
and
it's
just, I
gorgeous.
mean, it's kind of like, I talked about it at some point with Ellis Island. Like I would
Yeah.
love to just like take my laptop and write at Ellis Island just because of like the history that's
Well,
there.
we can go take our laptops, have beignets, and I can have coffee
Exactly.
while you have something.
chocolate milk.
Yep, exactly.
But
And so we'll spend the whole day in New
like,
Orleans.
It would be amazing. And I would love to go on a ghost tour of New Orleans. I know you're kind of like, no, but like, it would be fun.
I mean, everyone probably knows by now, but I'm the biggest scaredy cat ever. So yeah, we'll see.
I'm actually adding
There's
chocolate milk to my shopping
Oh my
list
gosh.
right
We actually should do the ghost tour at the graveyard.
Yeah, there is
Here,
one.
yeah.
That would be fun.
Because with Memphis was known for the yellow fever and all that other stuff. So there's
I think that would be, there was like a few different historical events that happened in
Yeah.
2019 that we didn't go to, and like I would love to go because that's not something that Cody's really into.
Right.
And I feel like you and I would be like into it.
Right.
There was also some Harry Potter event at the library that we never
Yeah.
made it to.
Well, and we learned our libraries really started picking up on what they've been offering. So
Mhm.
like different authors brought in, like the ones that wrote Before We Were Yours was brought in, but we didn't make it, and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely. I think trying to do more.
Yeah, I think more experiences would be really cool in general. I think it's going to be a 2020
Yeah.
thing. I'm trying to think if there's any other goals though.
I don't think so.
I would love to finish drafting a book. I have four different projects that I just kind of like bounce between. And I'm good with like bouncing between projects.
I was
but
gonna
I think
say-
it keeps me interested.
Well, they're so completely different.
yeah, they are. There's like there's one that's like just like a contemporary romance. There's one that's like
Fantasy.
a fantasy, and then there's two that are paranormal urban fantasy type books, but they're totally separate. Those two do kind of overlap actually just a little bit, but yeah, they're so different. And so like I'm good with having enough like plenty of projects, but like I would like to just finish one of them.
See, I think I want to get back into writing. So, because I like my work and I like the story, like where it was going, but I just need to sit down and
Figure
do it, I
it
guess.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I feel like in general, just like taking more time to like actually enjoy things,
Yes.
like reading and writing and
Instead
whatever
of
else.
Making it like a chore, a
Yeah,
job.
yeah,
That's what I want to be, like purposeful and like truly
yeah.
enjoy it.
And I would also like to de-stash the books that I unhaul. Because, spoiler alert, the unhaul that I posted in October, most of those books are still in a closet
Yeah.
and need to go somewhere.
The Harry Potter closet.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just like, that whole closet is just a mix of just like random containers and books
Yeah.
and work stuff. And that's it. And I mean, like, it's fine. Everybody needs storage closets, but I would really like for those books to go away. I need to look and see if there's any that I could like, what I need to donate versus like selling.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Because I know there's like at least one signed book. At least one. Maybe more. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
I feel like that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so let us know in the comments what your bookish goals are.
On Instagram.
Yes.
I know you can't comment on iTunes.
Right. But on Instagram.
But
But
on
that's where we're
Instagram.
more active. So, and that's one of our goals, is to be more purposeful and active on social media.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
I think that's pretty much it.
So thanks for joining us.
Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review or thumbs up or whatever. For January, we are doing a buddy read of Once and For All by Sarah Dessen, because we both owned it and we want to get it off of our TBRs.
And we
it'll
loved the
rest of the story. And it will be a cute read for Valentine's Day coming up. Even though I don't really celebrate Valentine's Day, but you know.
No, but
whatever.
I think it's kind of like one of those cutesy.
Yeah.
I mean, the cover is very Valentine's Day-ish,
And it's
and the
pink
inside,
on the inside. So yeah. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. So thanks for listening, and we will see you next week with another episode.
Yeah.
Bye.